hustling, every day I'm hustling, every day I'm hustling, every day I'm hustling, every day I'm hustling.
Hi everyone, and welcome to The Construct. Welcome to the best construction channel in the land. My name is Upili Mpemba, and welcome to Construction Interchange. This series is called Construction Interchange. I did a bit of it last year, and it's mainly just to reiterate what the point is and why is it different to my other videos. This one is Construction Interchange. I called it Construction Interchange because it's an interchange of minds, it's an interchange of perception. It's a snapshot of the type of conversations I get to have with certain people within the industry, and conversations that we need to be having, and conversations and perceptions and perspectives that I would like my audience to know and understand, just to have more of a holistic view of what the industry is like. So today we are doing Black excellence and Black young academia doing the best. Obviously, you guys know Dr. Lipanzi. We did an episode with him, just talking about his works and what he's actually doing and certain just industry topics. And if you've missed that out, so what type of leaders do you think that are going to be very cognizant of the things that are happening right now, but be innovative enough to create those solutions and be very optimistic about the future?
An innovative leader who's authentic.
Go back to I think it's like 2 videos back, so really watch that conversation with us. That was really cool. But for those that don't know Dr. Lipanzi, he's a researcher and the Deputy Director at the Sustainable Human Settlements and Construction Research Center, which is in UJ. He kind of educates SMEs on just digital innovation and navigating construction, which is what I really love about what he does. So yeah, I have him on this episode. We're talking all things academia. And the second guest, my second guest, it is, when I read Miriam's bio, I just want to go dun 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 dun. Is that like a boxing song? Yeah.
A few moments later.
Her bio just, like that girl doesn't rest. Anyway, Miriam obtained her BTech in project management from Vaal University. She then did her Masters of Construction from Cape Peninsula University. And then she holds a PhD in construction management from the University of KwaZulu-Natal, South Africa. Okay. She's a lecturer, a researcher in the Department of Construction Management and Quantity Surveying at MET, and has presented papers on conferences locally and abroad, published in peer-reviewed journals, written chapters in books, and edited several book collections. She's the co-author of the Journal of Construction. Like, do you understand why we needed that? Yeah, so this is a snapshot of the conversation that I got to have with both of these incredible individuals. We basically talking about academia and construction management and just the journey of construction management. Okay, so a bit of background on why I chose to do this as one of my first videos when it comes to Construction Interchange. Obviously, it's the beginning of the year and a lot of people are choosing subjects, moving out of universities, moving into corporate environments. And, like we never really talk about the bridge that happens between academia and actually navigating the built environment, because obviously with a lot of professions within the built environment, especially in the higher up, they need a certain level of competence, and that would be a qualification. We're not saying that everybody that is in built environment has a qualification, or you necessarily need a qualification in order to get to the top of things. I think the one thing about our industry is that, anything can happen. Anything can happen. So, but I think it is wiser to, as we're improving the industry and going forward, and obviously regulations are going to change. It is wise for us to kind of understand the academic part of it. So, having a conversation with Miriam and Lipanzi, I realized that it's not the destination that matters. I think every time that you get to a certain space, then it unfolds into another one and another one, and that's the whole point of journeys and getting to a point where you actually find your niche. Because in order to find your niche, you have to go deeper. The deeper you go, the more it becomes possible to find what you are truly going to niche at. So in terms of just the built environment, I feel like the academic stories aren't really told, and that's why it was important for me to have this conversation. If I haven't introduced myself, my name is Upili Pemba, and if you are not subscribed to this channel, I don't know what is happening. Why are you watching my video? I'm joking. Subscribe. But take a look at the snapshot of my conversation with Dr. Lupanzi and Dr. Akinlolu. So before we even get started here, it's only common courtesy for someone to ask you, how do I address you? So
I just use my last name to call me Lipat. Even in my office, I even took out the doctor's signature. I left it as Lipat.
you don't use it?
Yeah, so I mostly prefer my street names.
Hey, look. If I got my PhD, I would require my dog to bark doctor at me. You know, I'm not even playing.
The issue is the levels are incomplete. So
What do you mean?
when you get there, you then realize there's another layer. And there's another layer.
Oh, is it?
There's another layer. So trust me, from here, there's probably 5 more layers.
Exactly.
So I think it would be right for us to start it off by asking the question: was it intentional going into to getting to your PhD level? Was it something that you kind of premeditated, or were you got to degree level and you're like, okay, cool, I'll do my honors, and then you go to masters and you're like, let's go for it. Was it something that you knew from the beginning, from the onset, if that's where you want to get, or did you kind of just find yourself within that path of academia?
Miriam?
Okay, for me,
Let's start with you.
well, I already knew that I wanted to have a PhD when I was in my undergraduate studies. And it was not because, I just really wanted to have a PhD or was passionate about academia. I was just motivated by the lecturers I had, I'm from West Africa, Nigeria. We just had these very mean lecturers. So, they get upset if you forget to use their title. They are very big on titles. So, you forget to call them doctor or professor, and they just get upset. You can even fail a course because of that. So, there was just this arrogance about, having a PhD. And then I used to think, what is the big deal about this? I just want to get there and see what it's about. And then I finished my undergrad, and then I went home to do my master's. And then I was just, sure I wanted to do a PhD. So, when I think back, I did not think I would be in academia, like teaching, sometimes I think about it, I'm like, oh, like when I'm marking scripts, I'm like, yo, girl, you must be crazy. Like, how did you get here? But it was just, I'm enjoying it now, but it was not about, I want to be in academia. I just wanted to, see what it was that, these people were so crazy about and made them, act the way they do. And now I realize that it's just a personality thing. The fact that I have a PhD hasn't changed my personality, hasn't changed me as a person, so.
Has it opened any doors that you found that wouldn't have opened if you didn't have it?
Of course,
Or
yes.
does it cripple you?
No, people, for me, I feel like people respect you more, I go, I just look, even at MET, when I walk around, when I first joined MET, I used to look like a student. So I'll just wear my jeans, my sneakers, my shirt, and I walk into a place, and then I just get that student attitude, sometimes. And then when they find out that, no, I'm a doctor, I have a PhD, I'm a lecturer, and then you just see that it just gives you that level of respect. People respect you more, people acknowledge you better. And, it has, you develop more, it exposes you to more opportunities, you gain more knowledge, you're more exposed to a wide range of positive things.
And then for you, Lupanzi, was it intentional for you to go this far?
I think it developed from my study per se. So the studies I did in my master's, so what was intentional is up until master's. But after that, the study I did, my supervisor saw the need for it to develop beyond what it was. And then it became that coincidence, whereby now you have a master's studies that has a niche at a level of a PhD. So through engagements with the supervisors at the time, we then carried it forward to the PhD. So I think by being in that environment, it then opens opportunities for academic employment and academic networks, as it has been. But in nature, I think I'm just an industry aligned individual, if I may put it. The bug in academics just caught me through the master's study I did.
I think the one thing that makes this episode important for me is that, you know, like for us Black people, and no, for me growing up, let me put it like that. For me growing up, you know, like the guy with the PhD was always that man that was at the corner house, and he was kind of taken as crazy a little bit. You know, they'll be like, no, he's not crazy. He has a PhD. You know, that's what academia was for us. It was a certain level of crazy.
Yeah, no, I think it's true. I think sometimes some things happen through purpose. There might be a niche in a particular, or a gap in a particular industry, and then once you see that gap and opportunity, you enter to fill up that gap. So even for most of us who might have felt like we wanted to be pilots and.
Yeah.
But then as you are opening within your environment, the influence at the particular time in your life, it literally takes you in other directions of career. So for instance, in my case, I don't think if I had this specific supervisors, I would have done my PhD, for instance. But the influence, the environment of the time led me to this direction. And I think it's something we also take for granted as well. Especially when it comes to decision making. Yes.
So it's really important. You can't say it's really important because it's not like you choose a lecturer, but I think it's also creates a certain type of consciousness and consciousness and pressure on lecturers, but also responsibility on the way that they teach and creating that first kind of open concept of what the built environment is like. And I love the fact that, and the reason why I wanted you guys on was because you guys are not only conscious of the academic part, but you're also conscious of what is actually happening in the industry. We get a lot of academics that are just academics, you know, and all they are trying to do is teach other people to be academics. And sometimes it becomes such a tug of war because it's just like, this is not all I'm trying to be. I'm actually trying to be this and that. And the approach that you guys are using in terms of just wanting to input so much and to pour so much of skill, you know, skill-based learning, you know, where you're just not being an academic, but also a person that is well versed of what is actually happening in the market, like a conscious person. I love those type of teachings. They breed a different type of output when it comes into higher institutions. So what is next for you? Like what is next for you? What are you trying to do? What are the projects that you have in the pipeline that we need to know about? And how does MUT and UJ really fall into the whole spectrum of things?
At the bigger crux of the response, I think it will be to be an educate research academic who's able to create patents that are being used within the industry. So for instance, if there's a technology within the construction industry that I can create by being a digital leader, I think that will be my alignment, even if I don't get those hierarchical approaches that I've just engaged. But I think if I was to have a software, could be an application, something which is aligned with applied research, that can be an adequate proof of work within the realm of the industry, which can also make money in the industry.
Of course.
And in academia, I think I would have fulfilled the alignment of this synergy between academics and industry. So there's quite a lot of
That's
gaps.
nice.
As researchers, we always identifying gaps that are there within our frameworks. But the key thing is then how do we then move that framework in it being a monetary value for academia, also for industry. I think my career will be very, very focused around this.
Do you think it's easy to monetize academia?
It's not that easy, but I think given the right support, it should be easy. I think also having the right information and also putting in the work, the perseverance. There's a lot of proposals required around patent creation. It's not something that you can just do with a click of a hand, but it's something that you need to really put in a lot of work. And I think given the academic disparities that are there of blacks and whites, especially where these things are approved, it's still a lot of white individuals. I think from a DH, Department of Higher Education department as well. If you look into how those systems and processes are, there's still a long way to go around this. Within my little shell, yes, we might win here and there. But as you want to maneuver all these institutions, because all these institutions are giving out funding, but it's how you present your case. Your NRFs, CSIRs, DBSA, and the likes. So yeah, I think it's not easy. One just needs to persevere and believe in the idea.
Yeah, you have to have a tad bit of crazy. It's like entrepreneurship. And then for you, Miriam?
Obviously, I would like to, go through the hierarchy. I actually want to be a professor before I'm 40. Amen. Then I also see myself, working on projects, that focus on developing people from disadvantaged backgrounds, marginalized groups, people with disabilities, those kind of, projects are things that I'm really keen on working on. And then to see how MUT, talking about how MUT can help me, achieve that goal. Remember, MUT is a historically disadvantaged university. So most of the students there are like from disadvantaged backgrounds, poor background. So, my audience is there at MUT and it's within the Umlazi township. And also, because MUT is still a growing university when it comes to research. They are more teaching intensive. So I see that there's an opportunity for growth when it comes to research within the university. So I think MUT aligns, my goals aligns with what MUT has to offer in that context.
And what type of values are you trying to instill in your students and in your pipeline?
No, I think it's just to alert the student population, I think all the way to PhD and masters, that it's important to also align your understanding, I think, towards what's currently occurring with the Sustainable Development Goals.
Oh, that's so true.
I think as you are aligning your research, try and look into that. And obviously, coming from UJ, we are within the 4IR realm of thinking and analysis. That too, especially in the built environment, as you are students, I think one thing that should be important is within those entities you're working in. Such projects that you take on should also help those entities or construction companies, consulting companies. So don't really let your masters not be tested within those companies that you are actually interviewing. So try and ensure that you align those digital research that you're having, SDG research that you have to be tested within those entities. That can also help the SMEs as well. So I think from my end, the key project that I think I can present out is just it's around digital entrepreneurship and digital leadership. So the main intention is to try and get small, medium enterprises, firstly, having an understanding of what it is to be a digital entity before actually doing the digital implementation. So there's quite a lot of technologies that are out there that are laying out in literature. So bridging that gap.
There's a huge gap there.
There's a gap that we need to try and bridge between an SME entrepreneur, the information that's out there regarding digitalization, and also ensuring that they understand both sides of the coin. So yeah, I think for now it's just to do a lot of analysis around that. Besides many other issues, but all projects that we're working on are also aligned with those sustainable development goals that are also out there on the internet. So yeah, I think for there I'm okay.
Okay.
And Miriam, what type of values are you trying to instill in your students and in your pipeline?
I saw your pictures there. You were talking. You're saying you're shy. Yeah, you coming here and you're saying that you're shy. But I saw your pictures there. What were you doing? I saw it was it a conference?
Oh, it was a showcase, like a showcase event.
Oh, okay.
I just had to do
What
that.
were you
I
guys
didn't have a
doing?
choice. So for the past year now, I have been working on a British Council funded project, and what the British Council is trying to do is, enhance entrepreneurship, within the higher education ecosystem. So I have been working on a project that focuses on incorporating enterprise and digital education into the curriculum of built environment programs. So within my project, myself and my team had developed a module, like a course, that could be delivered within the construction program that incorporates digital skills and enterprise skills for students. So I was just presenting the outcome of that project. And then this year what we're doing now is we're trying to review that module and trying to see how we can incorporate sustainability skills within the module. So that's what I was doing, and that is what I'm currently involved in. So I think I've answered that question.
A different type of perspective, guys. Like it might be old news to a lot of privileged color, but I'm speaking to two young Black doctors here that are wanting to change the way that construction sees construction in order to help the people in construction. I think the one thing that all of us know about this industry is the fact that you go into it and you become it, and you want to help create change, and we are having that conversation with people that are doing the research, because now all of this has to be based on some sort of fact in order for us to understand the way that we navigate this industry. And these people are researchers of this industry that are defining problems and are helping devise solutions for how we're going to operate and how we're going to make it how we're going to make it seamless. The whole point of where we are trying to go with the industry is that we are trying to make it more seamless. Yes, that the adapting of AR and digitalization and 4IR and all that jazz is something that is going to assist us in going forward. But we also need to be on the mindset of change ourselves. Before we have the tools of how we are going to change, that change has to live within what we deem possible, and being so uncomfortable with where we are right now that we want to kind of create different avenues that are going to make it easier for us. I think the one thing about our generations and the ones that are going to come after us is the fact that we don't like hard work. If we can create a seamless built environment that is built on understanding of each platform that we are using, I think we'll definitely be at a better place. So I think coming back from the background, which is academics, pushing it out, and the output of higher education is important in how we are going to gear the industry forward.